short prayer.
Zuma will, in a few minutes, lay a wreath here at the Thomas Mbobi Cemetery.
Mine is just 2 seconds. But before the 2 seconds, let me invoke and invite the spirit of Chris Hani to come and be with us today. Utambangale lila maesbona senje angale lu maesbona utambangale lu maesbona senje angale lu maesbona uhanyangale lu maesbona senje Thank you. The President has issued orders that we must not use this platform to attack each other. Mine is just so precise to the point. Here is my prayer that all of us will go to our communities and our churches and pray for South Africa. And forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not to the temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and evermore. Amen. Who are we to judge? Because God does not judge. So go to your churches and communities to pray. And I'm saying today, we're not talking, our prayer is not save South Africa, our prayers is defend South Africa. Amen.
Thank you very much, Reverend Mpatwe. We are going straight to the wreath-laying ceremony, and I hope that the protocol has actually assisted us. May you be seated. Thank you very much. We will request His Excellency, President of the Republic of South Africa and the ANC, Honorable Jacob Zuma, to be joined by our comrade Umamudi Mpoani. Protocol.
Well, President Jacob Zuma will now make his way to where the wreath will be laid, honoring, of course, former General Secretary of the SACP since 1991 and an ANC NEC member since 1974. President Jacob Zuma will be joined, as you heard there, by the widow of Chris Hani.
Thank you very much, His Excellency. Then it will be our City of Ekurhuleni, Executive Mayor, Councillor Mzwandile Masila. Followed by Honorable Minister Ubaba wethu Nathi Mthethwa. Yabe ready. Uhamba lapha no Minister wamaphoyisa omutsha from the box. Fixing Malula. kuzoba acting premier umama wethu MEC Barbara Tracy. Sizocela uComrade Soli Mapaila, who is representing the South African Communist Party. Asonde. Order, order, order. Order, please. This is the party of our revolutionary legend and fighter, uComrade Chris Hani. Who is representing NKMA. Represented here today by Dr. Tatum Obi. President General of the African National Congress, Comrade Chris Hani. Sisters Zumi Sanaidano, the Tambo family is here represented by Comrade Hani. UMC Doron Lambo, who is the principal department that is hosting this event today. Alandelwe amameya akhona phakathi kwethu umeya waseBizana umeya waMafumbata no-deputy executive mayor wase-OR Tambo umeya uNobunga, Councillor Nobunga.
Maybe put this on, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Dr. Peter Natanule. Good day, Doctor. Natane Kuba Uladele. And then City Manager Wasegurulenu, Dr. Imoji Mashazi. And the last wreath is Omekwa by Reverend Mapato, who's the friend and the corporate familiar. Sizobiza General Secretary we Youth League, Comrade Jabulo. And the Chief Whip of Council on behalf of Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Council. that's Magasedekile, Chief Whip, Sisonde, Minister of Arts and Culture, Babunati Tetwa, Asonde, no President, Uzo Unveiling Iplak. Thank you very much. As President, no Minister of Arts and Culture, thank you very much. Joinwe or executive mayor, no comrade Limpho. Honorable President, His Excellency, when we are ready, Bob, we are doing the mic, roving mic. Please help.
By virtue of powers vested in the South African Heritage Resources Agency in terms of Section 27(5) of National Heritage Resources Act number 25 of 1999, SARA has declared the grave of Chris Hani and the Chris Hani Memorial and Walk of Remembrance as National Heritage Sites on the 24th of March 2017. Plaque unveiled by the President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency Mr. Jacob Zuma, on the 10th of April 2017. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sizwile ke namhlanje ukuthi le site iyenziwe namhlanje ideclarewe as a national heritage site. Asishayeni izandla sibonge. Sicela sihlaleni phansi mase siready sizongena kumcimbi wesibili. Thank you very much. Asishayeni izandla sililizele asishaye ama-plate. This is the city of Ekurhuleni, alive with possibilities. Without any waste of time, cela sitlireke lapho, Mongameli ahlale phansi, noSisi Limpho, and all our leadership present. My name is Councillor Patricia Kumalo, Speaker of the Smart, Creative and Developmental City, the City of Ekurhuleni. I will be the Program Director for today. His Excellency, Honorable Jacob Zuma, President of the Republic of South Africa and President of the African National Congress. The Hani family present and Dr. Peter Nakane, ministers who are present here, the deputy ministers who are present, acting Premier Mayor Barbara Chrissy, Executive Mayor of the City of Ekurhuleni, Councillor Mzwandile Masina, and the First Lady, Mrs. Sinazo Masina, Chief Whip of Council, Councillor Jongizizwe Tabati, MMCs and Section 79 chairpersons of Oversight Committee, committees, honorable councillors present, political parties in council, City Manager Dr. Imogen Mashazi, senior management, MPs and MPLs present, all our officials from the three spheres of government, members of the media, FBOs and CSOs present, residents of Ekurhuleni, distinguished guests. Also amongst us is the leadership from SANCO, leadership from COSATU, MK, MVA, SACP, and the ANC. Distinguished guests, allow me to acknowledge all protocols. Good morning. We are here today to remember the life and the rich legacy of our comrade Martin Tembisile Hani, the SACP Secretary General, who was brutally shot and killed in the driveway of his Boksburg home. We will remember in Don Park on the 10th April 1993. Remembering this giant revolutionary fighter, in November 2006, our council unanimously resolved to confer the freedom of the city to Comrade Chris, and also resolved that April be declared in his memory. That is why every April month we ensure that we have an intensive program in his memory. Without any waste of time, let me call upon MMC Community Services, Councillor Dora Mlambo, to come and welcome us. Whilst we're doing that, we are going to have Mewaruna, who is our comrade, our sister, Comrade Limpho, to come and do the remarks, and then it will be the Minister of Arts and Culture, and Tatena Timtet will be able to come and actually present before us our very important guest today, who is the head of the state, the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency Ntate Jacob Zuma. So over to you, MMC.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Honorable President of the Republic of South Africa, Babu Jacob Zuma, Acting Premier Barbara Chrissy, Honorable Executive Mayor Councillor Mzwandile Masina, Hani family and Kobi family, ministers who are here present today, GP ministers and MPs, MECs and MPL, MMCs and councillors, mayors of OR Tambo, Mbizana, Mfuleni and Lisedi who are present today, Tripartite Alliance, political parties present today, Miss Ekurhuleni Ambassador, SG of Youth National Comrade Jabulo Nzuza, and I've seen the speakers present. Good afternoon. It is truly an honor to once again be honoring the memory of Comrade Chris Hani. This has become very much a part of our DNA in Ekurhuleni, because at the time of his death, Comrade Chris was a resident of this city. In welcoming all of you, I wish to do two things, and that is to remind us to draw lessons from the death of Chris Hani and from the time he spent in the camps. When Comrade Chris Hani was in the camps, you will remember that he wrote a memorandum which is now popularly known as the I open quote, Hani Memorandum, I close quote. I don't want to delve into the content of the memorandum. However, the writing of that memorandum was a very brave act. That's a type of bravery, exactly the type of bravery we need in these turbulences times in the country. As members of the progressive movement, we need to bravery and safeness to take our country forward. This is what we have been taught by Chris Hani, and this is what we need to embody every day. The second thing to learn from is what happened when Comrade Chris Hani died. The untimely and brutal killing of Comrade Chris sent our country on the verge of a civil war. This is the type of connection we ordinary South Africans had with Hani, even though some of us had never even met him. He spoke the language of our people. He emulated their beliefs and their dreams for a better South Africa, and this that shocked this entire country. We again can learn from this. As political principles in local government, we have to be so in tune with our constituents that we speak their language and embody their beliefs and dreams for a better country and future. Having said that, I'd like to welcome you all here today. Let us use today and the rest of the month to reflect on what Comrade Chris stood for. We dare not betray him. I thank you.
Thank you very much, MMC. We are welcome. I've already said we're a smart, creative, and developmental city, the home of a retropolis, and we embrace it and we ensure that Africa embraces it too. Without any waste of time, let me call upon our sister, Limpho, our sister, our comrade. She's part of this city, this institution. We love her so much. No amount of money, Limpho, can actually, even words can explain how much we love you. We love you, we appreciate you. Ngicela simphakamiseni ngelinye uthi lena uthi ayithisi uthi ufuna into echisayo ngoba uyachisa echisayo.
Honorable President Jacob Zuma, Minister of Arts and Culture, Comrade Muthetwa, Acting Premier, Comrade Barbara, Comrade Mayor Masina, Ministers, Comrade Lindy, Zulu, Comrade Ayanda, Comrade Mbadula, Comrade Kelima Patwe from MKBA, Comrade Soli from SACP, Comrade the Tambo family and the Ngobi family, all protocol observed. Today is 24 years since Chris was assassinated. The ANC has declared 2017 the year of R. Tambo and unity in action. And what better man to try and emulate the year of his 100th birthday. We are also celebrating the declaration of the grave of Chris and the Chris Hani Memorial and Walk of Remembrance as National Heritage Sites by the Department of Arts and Culture. As Hani family, we are humbled and honored by this gesture of our government led by President Zuma. Comrade Nati Relebuha Hahulu. This would not have happened if it were not for Ekurhuleni Mayor, Comrade Mzwandile, and his comrades in the municipality. They have worked tirelessly to make sure that the contribution that Chris made is not forgotten. Viva Ekurhuleni! I would like to make it clear that I stand here today addressing you all as the widow of ANC and SACP comrade. And it is his memory that we honor today. At the moment, we are living in a time of extreme paranoia and factionalism. I attended a prayer service on the 5th of April at Bethesda Methodist Church in Horton to pray for our country. I was later informed that in some circles of our organization that I belong to a faction that is against the presidency because I attended a prayer service. It is a culture of all churches over the world to pray for their countries and for their leaders. Comrades, I come from a praying family. Whenever I have challenges, I surrender to God, who has never failed me. You can all testify to that. After 24 years of my husband's assassination, I'm still around because of prayer. The scripture that is read in churches to pray for our leaders is in 1 Timothy chapter 2, verses 1 to 2. It reads as follows. First of all, then, I urge that supplications, prayers, intercession, and thanksgiving be made by all people, for kings and for all who are in high position, that we may lead a peaceful and quiet life, godly and dignified in every way. Honorable President and comrades, I do not belong to a faction. I am a member of the ANC, and there is only one ANC. I refuse to play in the hands of those who ask, what would Chris say today? I cannot answer that question. What I do know is Chris was a loyal, disciplined, and responsible ANC cadre. Malcolm X said, open quote, the media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and make guilty the innocent. And that is their power because they control the minds of the masses. We get information from the media about our economy, the ANC in fighting, where and when marches will be held, and reasons for the marches. About the ANC conference in December, who is standing for presidency, even before the ANC branches have made their choices on the leadership. Malcolm X also said, open quotes, if you form a habit of taking or believing what someone says about something without checking it out, you'll find that other people will have you hating your friends and loving your enemies. As a society, we have been bombarded with fake news on social media, and there's a lot of gossip mongering. We all have to be aware of what is happening around us to be able to sift the content of what we are fed as news. South Africa is a democratic country. People have the right to express themselves, freedom of speech, freedom to march, freedom of association, and many other freedoms enshrined in our Constitution. Sir Winston Churchill said the following, open quote, "Some people's idea of free speech is that they are free to say what they like. But if anyone says anything back, that is an outrage." Several women have been raped by a taxi driver in Soweto, and another woman in the West Rand was raped and killed together with her boyfriend. There was no civil march to taxi association. Okay, can you clap at the end of what I have to say? Because we don't have enough time, but thank you for that clapping. There was no civil society to march to taxi association to demand justice for the raped women. When trade unions demand a living wage for workers in our country, they are met with disdain by employers. There is no civil society march to support the poorly paid workers. When the tragedy at SABC occurred and over 100 people died, the health ombudsman released his findings, which were devastating. There was no civil society march. I mention the above incidents not to tell people when or how to react to inequalities, but I feel there is disconnect within society of when to stand together. This being OR 100th birthday, I've been reflecting on the type of leader he was. I was one of the privileged to have OR in my life during the painful days of apartheid. He was kind to my husband, to myself, and especially my children. There was nothing OR would not do for the families of ANC comrades, including but not limited to sourcing school fees. In spite of all the imaginable challenges in exile, OR still managed to hold the ANC together, united. I would like to quote OR at the ANC 48th National Conference in '91. Open quotes. "Before I sit down, I wish to make a few observations. We did not tear ourselves apart because of lack of progress at times. We are always ready to accept our mistakes and correct them. Above all, we succeeded to foster and defend the unity of the ANC and the unity of our people in general. Even in bleak moments, we are never in doubt regarding the winning of freedom. We have never been in doubt that the people's cause shall triumph," close quotes. On a personal message to the President of South Africa, I would like to thank President Zuma. As you all know, my youngest daughter went through cocaine addiction. And I want to tell South Africa that I was able to go through this long journey. Guess why? Because Comrade Zuma became a brother to me, a father to my child. This journey, without his support, he was a pillar of strength. It wouldn't have been an easy journey. trying to get votes here. But what I'm trying to illustrate to you is the President of South Africa, Comrade Jacob Zuma, who closely worked with my husband, and I'll tell you something that you didn't know. He was the last person to be with Chris before he was assassinated. I don't know where they had gone to do whatever, but he was the last ANC leader to see Chris. So it was easy for me to go to him and tell him my problems with my daughter's addiction. President, I have no words, but because I believe in God, my wish is, may God bless you 100-fold. Amanda!
Thank you very much, Comrade Limpho. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ayifuna ukutolikwa ngithi asifuna ukuyimosha. I've already said that I'll be calling to the podium Ubaba, Minister of Arts and Culture, to come and introduce umongameli. Asimamkeleni ngengoma.
Long live the spirit of Comrade Chris Hani, long live. Long live the undying spirit of Comrade Chris Hani, long live. Viva Chris Hani, long viva. Thank you, comrades, Program Director, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of South Africa, President Jacob Zuma. The Acting Premier of Gauteng, the MEC Barbara Chrissy, the Executive Mayor of Ekurhuleni, Mayor Masina, our host of the beautiful city of Ekurhuleni, ministers and deputy ministers present, members of the Executive Council here present, the Hani family, the Nkobi family, the Tambo family, leadership of the SACP, led by Comrade Solima Baile, leadership of COSATU by Comrade Dumo Dlamini, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends. My task is simple today, is to ask the President of the Republic of South Africa to talk to all of us. And it would be important to note that we are also here commemorating one of the giants of our revolution, Comrade Chris Hani. Comrade Chris Hani personified the alliance. Growing up as he did in the ANC Youth League, at his tender age, he grew to lead both the African National Congress and became the General Secretary of the Communist Party. So we're speaking here of somebody who is tried and tested, who made it a point, together with his comrades, that this day arrive, the 1994 breakthrough. We are honoring him as government, because as we do that, we are writing our own story, our own heritage. We are not going to leave the Chris Hanis of this world to any other person to write and honor them. It is our duty. He was our leader in common. This 24th anniversary of his murder coincides with two important landmarks in the struggle of our freedom. Firstly, we are marking the 100 years birthday of Oliver Reginald Tambo, the doyen of our struggle for liberation and architect of the current constitution. Secondly, this year also marks 40th anniversary of the brutal and unnecessary termination of a young life of a man who was a symbol of youth resistance, power and determination, Stephen Bantu Biko. A man who was part of a collective that discovered their mission and set out to fulfill it. It is also a month where Solomon Kalushi Mahlangu perished in the bloody hands of the murderous regime of apartheid. Fellow South Africans, it is our right and privilege to celebrate the fact that we were blessed with so rare a gift of a fellow South African who was simultaneously an activist and a leader, a patriot, an internationalist, a human titan who surrendered his life to the cause of all humanity, a principled revolutionary, a true comrade. No one will tell us a story of Comrade Chris Tembisilian, the Nuntanga yakhe, his equal, his leader, his comrade, the President of the Republic of South Africa. It's my honor to request His Excellency to come to the fore and share with the nation of this journey.
Amandla awethu matla keruna all power, all power. Thank you, Director of the program. Mrs. Limpho, Hani and family, the family of our leader, our Tambo, and the family of our leader, Thomas Ngobi, Minister Natim Tetwa, and all ministers present here, and deputy ministers, Acting Premier of Gauteng, Barbara Cressy, and all MECs present here, members of the National Parliament, and members of the provincial legislature, the executive mayor of Ekurhuleni, Mr. Mzwandile Masina, and all other mayors present here. Leaders of the African National Congress, particularly members of the National Executive Committee of the ANC, the leadership of the SACP, led by its Deputy General Secretary, Solly Mapaela. No, I call him like that when I joke with him. It's Mapaela. COSATU leadership, led by its President, Comrade Stumo Dlamini, the Sanko leadership present here, traditional leaders and religious leaders present here, fellow South Africans. We are gathered here to once more commemorate the life of a distinguished freedom fighter and revolutionary, Thembisile Chris Hani. Today marks 24 years since he was brutally assassinated by right-wing conspirators who sought to derail our march to freedom and democracy. He was taken away from his family and the people who adored him and looked up to him. The killers wanted to plunge the country into civil war so as to prevent us from achieving a democracy in which government would be built by the majority and majority will of the people. Comrade Chris Hani demonstrated throughout his life and at the hour of his death that he lived for his people. He taught many young men and women within the ANC and the Alliance that personal sacrificing was the price to be paid in defense of the interests of the oppressed black people. In their actions, the killers of Chris Hani sought to sow division,
among the people of South Africa so that they could protect minority interests. However, the leadership of President Nelson Mandela rose to the occasion and called on all of us not to allow minority interests and the actions of disruptors to shift our focus. President Mandela called on all of us to honor the sacrifice of Comrade Chris Hani by uniting and accelerating our advance towards democratic elections. Indeed, we used that somber occasion as a platform to push harder for freedom and democracy, and eventually held our first democratic elections on the 27th April 1994 on the principle of one person, one vote. This year, we are also commemorating the centenary of President Oliver Reginald Tambo. Comrade Chris Hani and President Oliver Tambo are two of the most distinguished servants and leaders of our people in the struggle for freedom and justice. They passed away one after the other in April 1993, having successfully laid the foundation for the victory of the people in their struggle against white minority rule. Our youth and future generations need to understand the life and contribution of these two outstanding patriots. It is of this and for this reason that on the 24th of March 2017, we declared as National Heritage Sites the grave of Comrade Chris Hani. The Chris Hani Memorial and the Chris Hani Memorial and Walk of Remembrance. The leadership of Ekurhuleni must utilize the new status of these monuments alongside other historic monuments of liberation to build a thriving cultural tourism sector that also creates jobs for local people. It is absolutely important for those who will come to Ekurhuleni and be shown that here lies one of our heroes of our struggle, who was brutally murdered by the right-wing extremists. That here lies a leader in our revolution, the man with clear understanding politically and who shared high values, the man who was a member of the African National Congress, not just a rank and file, but who grew through the ranks and became its member of the National Executive Committee, but also as a member of the South African Communist Party who grew through the ranks and emerging finally as the General Secretary of the South African Communist Party. A man who spoke straightforward without hesitation on matters, but never lost the respect and dignity of a leader. Even when he disagreed, and he disagreed with many, because he was an independent thinker. But no one would feel offended when Chris Hani disagrees with you. If anything, you will be persuaded to see the truth. An example of what a revolutionary was supposed to be, but also an example of what a communist was supposed to be. And when people come to Ekurhuleni, you must be able to tell them who Comrade Chris Hani was. And I'm happy because the mayor just hinted to me that the house in which he lived is also being done so that in it you will get to know who Chris was. Compatriots, we also need to remember that Comrade Chris Hani was a committed advocate of a kind of democratic transformation that would bring about political, social, and economic justice in our country. He believed that our democracy would only be meaningful if it guaranteed equality in the access to education, healthcare, jobs, and housing, among others. It is because of such beliefs that we made sure that the Constitution of the Republic affirms the principles of equality, freedom, and justice for our people. We ensured that the Constitution enshrines the creation of a better life for our people through the inclusion of socio-economic rights such as the right to water, sanitation, quality education, and health care, and other important basic services. We have been able to alleviate poverty through providing social grants to more than 17 million of our people, the majority of whom are vulnerable children, older persons, and persons with disability, in line with the Constitution. Government will always make sure to overcome whatever challenges may threaten the provision of this important social security net to our people. Comrade Chris Hani also advocated very passionately the need for our democracy to transform the systems of economic participation. He insisted that a democratic government had a duty to build a modern economy at the hands of all our people, particularly black people. As you may recall, earlier this year, while delivering the State of the Nation address in Parliament, I reminded the country of the message of President Oliver Reginald Tambo regarding the content of a future democratic society. The message was delivered at the South African Communist Party anniversary meeting in London in 1981. Our revered leader, Oliver Tambo, had this to say, and I open quotes: "The objective of our struggle in South Africa, as set out in the Freedom Charter, encompasses economic emancipation. It is inconceivable for liberation to have meaning without a return of the wealth of the country to the people as a whole. To allow the existing economic forces to retain their interests intact is to feed the roots of racial supremacy and exploitation, and does not represent even the shadow of liberation. It is therefore a fundamental feature of our struggle that victory must embrace more than formal political democracy. And our drive towards national emancipation must include economic emancipation." Unquote. Over the past 2 decades of democratic governance, we have achieved a lot in the transformation of our economy. We have built a growing black middle class with access to work opportunities in areas that were historically denied to them. We have created pathways for the emergence of black-owned businesses in various sectors of our economy. However, the impact of these changes has not been to the desired effect. 23 years into our freedom and democracy, the majority of black people are still economically disempowered. They are dissatisfied with the limited economic gains from liberation. Therefore, it is out of this historic knowledge about the sense of our struggle for democracy that we have decided to focus firmly on radical socio-economic transformation in the remaining term of this government, as informed by the 2012 resolutions of the governing party, the ANC. The ANC government defines radical socio-economic transformation to mean the fundamental change in the structure, systems, institutions, and patterns of ownership, management, and control of the economy in favor of all South Africans, especially the poor, the majority of whom are African and female. We want to move beyond the minority control of our economic assets towards democratic, inclusive, and equitable economic relations of control and ownership. So when we talk freedom, it must not just be hot air. It must be real issues that affect people. We want to see more opportunities being provided for local producers to sell their products so that our hard-pressed economy can grow. We want to see more black-owned companies benefiting from government's 500 billion rand procurement budget so that we can further grow black business and entrepreneurship. We want to see more young people becoming entrepreneurs and obtaining support from government and the private sector. We want to see more black people becoming farmers or industrialists. We want to see more black people owning companies that are listed on the Johannesburg Exchange. We want to see an improvement in the implementation of the affirmative action policies, especially within the private sector. Reports by the Employment Equity Commission each year indicate that the top and senior management positions of top companies remain overwhelmingly white and male. Black professionals indicate that they are being overlooked for promotion in many companies. The private sector also needs to attend to the accusation that the salaries of black and white professionals doing the same job are still unequal in this free and democratic South Africa. These are serious transformation issues that cannot be ignored. Importantly, we remember well that our radical political transformation towards democracy in 1994 was achieved through united action. We were able to make progress because all democratic forces closed ranks and put up a united front against minority interests that sought to prevent the achievement of our objectives. We must therefore unite as South Africans behind this project of building a sustainable economy. We need to unite even more now, given the challenges we face locally and globally. Earlier this morning, I met with the finance minister and the deputy minister, the governor of the South African Reserve Bank, and the SARS commissioner to discuss further the impact of the credit rating downgrades and how we should respond adequately and unite the country as we move forward. The finance minister has been engaging the business community. Engagements with all social partners, including labor, will continue because we make progress and find solutions when we work together. Compatriots, Comrade Chris Hani believed in a non-racial society. In his memory, we must continue building a non-racial society and fight racism wherever it rears its ugly head. We have sadly not yet succeeded to build the non-racial society that we envisaged. There is a resurgence of racism in our country. It is also clear that racists have become more emboldened. The marches that took place last week demonstrated that racism is real. And exists in our country. Many placards and posters displayed beliefs that we thought had been buried in 1994, with some posters depicting black people as baboons. It is clear that some of our white compatriots regard black people as being lesser human beings or subhuman. The racist onslaught has become more direct and is no longer hidden, as was the case in the early years of our constitutional democratic order. Racists no longer fear being caught or exposed. The racist onslaught has become more direct and is no longer hidden. And this must be saying something to us as a country. We are a non-racial South Africa, and you must fight for this. It is an important struggle to win, that South Africa becomes indeed non-racial, non-sexist. In the fight to combat racism, we should look beyond only to avert racist utterances and public displays that we saw during the marches last week. We should also look at the ideological and institutional machinations that continue to give racism more attraction. Racism is a gross violation of human rights and plunged this country into decades of conflict in the past. We cannot allow and assist racists to take our country backwards. At a legislative level, government has published the Prevention and Combating of Hate Crimes and Hate Speech Bill. Once it becomes law, it will criminalize the several forms of discrimination, including on the basis of race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, and nationality. We call upon all freedom-loving South Africans to unite and fight racism in our country in the memory of Comrade Chris Hani. Comrade Chris Hani abhorred racism and fought against it all his life. He tragically lost his life at the hands of hardcore racists. It will take time, but it needs to be done if we are to achieve a truly united and non-racial society. Compatriots, as we navigate the transformation of our country, we encounter various challenges along the way. Our people are also experiencing frustration, and we will have misunderstandings in trying to choose the best path forward. However, we should never forget that one of the trademarks of South Africa's transition to democracy was tolerance and peaceful coexistence. We must coexist and tolerate one another around a common vision of social justice, reducing inequality, maintaining political stability and national unity. As we celebrate the life of Comrade Chris Hani, we must work together to build a better life for all of our people, in spite of the economic hardships that we face currently. We must face the difficult times together, and united we shall succeed. Compatriots and friends, it is my pleasure and honor to officially unveil and launch today as National Heritage Site the grave of Comrade Chris Hani, the Chris Hani Memorial and the Chris Hani Memorial and the Walk of Remembrance. We do this to our comrade, to our leader, to our commander, to our commissar. I thank you.
umongameli wethu sekazoshiya manje bengicela ukuthi simkhiphe ngeculo sekayahamba umongameli usitshenile ukuthi unenkinga yesikhathi siyamkhulula umongameli siyabonga umongameli ukuthi uzofika kuruleni basigubha impilo yaka Comrade Chris Hani. Siyabonga. Asimtuleleni sekazophuma. Mongameli, siyabonga. isicelo. Asihlaleni phansi, siyabonga. Siyabonga, sisazoqhuna siqhubekeni nohlelo.
I'd like to welcome our 404 viewers who've just joined us. You're watching News at 1. Now, Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has announced a 3-month state of emergency following